This marriage love story is presented by marriageromance.com. The title is Battle of the Sexes. The author is Trishan.
When I was at college, I was coming home with my then boyfriend Pete in his car. It'd been cheering at a game and had come to see me as well as the game. We'd been dating some time and I was really fond of him, although he was somewhat reserved. Anyway, this particular evening I felt pretty mischievous as I sat beside him in the car, putting my gleaming legs up next to the dashboard and generally teasing him. I was feeling really silly and started to tickle him while he was driving. "Stop it, Trish," he said sternly. "It's dangerous." I took no notice but continued to wind him up, trying to kiss him. "Trish, I told you to stop it." I giggled and continued to aggravate him. "For the last time, stop it. You're being a brat." He, I said, waving my legs in the air. "How you going to stop me? I'll put you over my knee and spank you," said my BF with authority. "Can't do that while you're driving," I giggled, continuing to poke him and tease him and kiss him. "No, but I can stop the car," he said, swerving off the road onto a derelict lot which often used as a parking lot by courting couples. That particular evening it was not inhabited except by us. Pete came round the side of the car and pulled me out the passenger seat. I looked shocked, but I was quite excited. He was being masterful. I'd been spanked before by my elder brother, but not by a boyfriend, although I had wondered what it would be like. Now I was to see for real. "Come on, Trish," he said, leading me over to an upturned crate and sitting on it. "Time for your spanking." I didn't know whether he meant it, but I was feeling in such a silly mood that I flung myself over his knee, giggling. It really felt good bent over this hunky guy's knee in the evening air. I turned round and poked my tongue out at my boyfriend, who was trying to give me a lecture. "Right, you've asked for it," said Pete. I squealed as his hand came down on my butt and shrieked and kicked as my BF applied a very firm hand to the back of my cheerleader uniform. If I had any doubts as to whether he'd really spank me, those doubts were well and truly over. For the next minute or so the air was filled with the sound of his hand spanking my butt and my squeals as I kicked and squirmed over his knee. I knew I'd asked for it, but it really did sting. He let me up and I danced around, clutching my stinging butt, making faces at him. He looked at me amused. "Now are you going to sit down and behave? Or do I have to do it again?" He sat me on his knee, but I got up very quickly. My bottom was on fire and rubbing it was preferable to sitting on it. "Ow! That didn't half sting," I said reproachfully, trying to rub the sting out of my rear. I looked generally mournful as Pete put his arms round me. "Well, you asked for it," said my BF. "I told you to stop. My bottom needs some tender loving care, and you spanked it," I said reproachfully, still running away. "But you were being naughty," said Pete. "You like me that way?" I giggled. "Yes," he agreed. "Though perhaps not when I'm driving. It's dangerous." I stuck my tongue out at him. "Do you want another spanking?" he asked. "No," I said, sitting my butt rather gingerly on his lap. "My bottom is quite tender enough. Now I want some tenderness from you." I wriggled a bit on my rather sore butt as we did some making out together. During our somewhat shorter relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend, he'd become rather good at kissing. Now the heat in my butt told me he'd also become rather good at spanking. Our time was eventually interrupted by some other couples arriving in their cars, but by this time Pete was eating out of my hand. We got into the car and headed off where I was living. When he dropped me off, we kissed. "Am I forgiven for spanking you?" he asked. I stuck my nose in the air. "I'll have to think about that." I got out the car and stuck my tongue out at him. He looked suitably confused, just how we girls like it. As I waved him off, I rubbed my still warm rear and grinned. I might just have gotten a spanking, but at the same time I was thrilled that my guy had put his foot down with a firm hand by taking me over his knee. This might just be the man I want to marry. As for Pete, I think giving his pretty cheerleader girlfriend a spanking helped him to make up his mind to pop the question, which he did not long afterwards. I was thrilled. I might have gotten a stinging bottom, but I think I won the battle of the sexes that evening.